Hello people, with any further ado, let's go through the cruisers and capitals of the low-tech. Colossus class Heavy Frichter. Before it was outmatched by the brutal economic efficiency of the Atlas Super Frichter, the Colossus Heavy Frichter formed the core of the domain frontier supply fleets. Thicker than strictly necessary hull plating provides protection against cosmic hazards, both natural and human. The Colossus is a sturdy and venerable hull, well suited to conditions in the post-collapse sector, albeit possessing primitive accommodations and limited defensive armament. The GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
You want your ship to be quick and lots of cargo? Colossus is for you, my man. Dominator class heavy cruiser. Ponderous and menacing, the Dominator class is one of the most widespread system defense cruisers in hegemony space. Not the most technologically advanced hull, it relies on a plethora of ballistic hardpoints to accomplish its mission, which is more often than not defending stationary installations and vital system trade routes. A poor shield emitter, which is difficult to manage and those rarely engaged, gives way to an almost impregnable interlocking armor belt system, making the Dominator safe from most weapons. Even strike craft cannot overcome the hail of projectiles that can be launched to intercept their payloads. This hull proves that tried and true military engineering is difficult to overcome by new ideas and technologies, especially when in the hands of a tough, determined crews and experienced officers. Dependable, durable, and a constant presence in home space around civilized worlds and outposts. The Dominator is perhaps most hated and feared by pirates and law-breaking corporate agents. In the right hands, the Dominator can beat capital ships. This was shown by High Hegemon Baikal Daud when he used his Dominator class cruiser and some light support from frigates and defeated an Astral class supercarrier. Eradicator class fast cruiser, a resilient design often overlooked by history. The Eradicator class fast cruisers features powerful dual engine nacelles that allow it to deliver uncompromising firepower and a powerful missile barrage to the weakest point of the enemy battle line, or come to the rescue of valuable assets that have found themselves tactically exposed. Back in the long cycles of the domain, a chance accident during a fleet demonstration set one of an Eradicator's engine nacelles into shutdown and the other into overdrive, putting the ship into a terrible spin, only stopped by a heroic effort from the engineering crew. Worse than the injuries and casualties suffered was the ship class becoming the laughingstock of a significant portion of the domain hypermedia sphere. To save face, the Admiralty quietly assigned all of the Eradicators to frontier duty, far from the fickle attentions of the core sector budget committees. It would take a generation and several difficult fringe rebellions mop-up operations before a new fast cruiser class model was requested by Domain Navy to replace the Eradicator's role in frontline battle fleets. By many seen as the cruiser. I honestly don't have anything against it, but I don't use it myself. It's fine. Grendel class phase cruiser. An ill-fated design from the start, the Grendel was originally planned as a heavy phase drone ship. Casualties would be irrelevant and routine damage anticipated, for this ship is a brawler which can phase shift through a first wave of hostile ordnance to appear in the midst of the enemy battle line, ready to unleash missiles and heavy firepower. The trick is, of course, performing this maneuver safely by carefully juggling flux load and positioning, though its service record demonstrates that nothing is particularly safe about the Grendel, the brainchild of an eccentric admiral who managed to capture procurement authority over an entire frontier sector. The first prototypes were installed with low-level AI for commanders. The AIs became rapidly unstable, even erratic, after only a handful of phase shifts. The precise details of the experiments were suppressed by an obscure intelligence ministry of the domain, and the project saved only by the Admiral's personal intervention. With AI unsuitable, the next best disposable resource was tapped, and the Grendel saw its first combat service on the far fringes crewed almost entirely by domain panel battalions. Description of this ship gives us more about the AI and their relation with the P-Space. The space faith ships tap into. AIs hate it. P-Space makes them unstable, erratic and suicidal sometimes. We know something is within the N-Space. What's within the P-Space? Mora class carrier. This class of carrier was commissioned during the same period of carrier-centric domain naval doctrine as the ubiquitous Talon fighter, armored to withstand the fury of battle alongside the onslaught. The Mora was nonetheless decommissioned en masse as the doctrine shifted to favor heavier guns and capital ships flanked by line cruisers. Demilitarized hulls were sold and converted into mobile industrial platforms for use on the frontiers of the domain. The rugged and eminently adaptable Mora was a common sight in the long-range surveying, mining, construction, drone handling, and use as a mobile dry docks. Some hulls were even half buried on alien worlds and used as armored power stations and workshops to form core of new settlements. After the collapse, Mora hulls were remilitarized almost suspiciously rapidly by factions that did not possess dedicated fleet carriers. Today, they are an anvil upon which many of unaware pirate warlord is broken. The Goat, old hull from Onslaugh's time. Maybe this ship was made to counter the swarms of nanites. Venture class cruiser. Tough, dependable and not overly expensive, Venture class cruisers are usually constructed by private corporations for escort duty or by small non-aligned worlds for system defense. The Venture class ships are perhaps the most widely used civilian cruisers in the sector. The blueprints for the Venture are widely available and can often be secured without too much trouble. When used by small corporations, the ship is usually the pride of the fleet and is used to underpin vital operations. Due to its ambiguity, the vessel also serves with quite a few pirate outfits, where it sometimes fills the role of a command ship. A fine ship for the beginning quickly gets replaced by stronger ships. Now, for the thing that we've all been waiting for. The capitals. Atlas class super freighter. The Atlas class ships are large spaceborne cargo platforms with FTL drive and a few defensive systems. Hundreds of containers can be latched onto the hull and carried with ease by this behemoth. Typically used to efficiently resupply entire outposts, the Atlas is ill-suited to the small and fast trade runs that are the mainstay of commerce in the sector. Their slow speed and large size always tempt uninvited guests, ranging from curious golfers come to see the hulking colossus, to the scavenging pirates aiming to disable a container's magnetogravitic fastener, to cooled madmen bent on destroying it all. Nonetheless, the hegemony makes wide use of them, especially to offload biomass from farming worlds on seasonal basis. For the purpose, the hegemony assembles a large Atlas convoys. These are protected by military cruisers that ensure that the lifeline of hegemony citizens is kept safe. The captaincy of an Atlas is a rare punishment for the able, an uneven mixture of soul-numbing boredom and abject terror being the result of normal trade rounds and pirate attacks, respectively. Yes, pirate attacks. Let's immediately jump to the Mk2 version of this ship. The Atlas class superfreighter is a prime target of pirate attacks. A few later found a broken heart of a sharp spray of impact debris in some lonely orbit. Others earn a pirate's second appraising glance and are hauled off to a secret shipyard. Cargo holds are ripped apart, replaced with trusses to hold weapons, and swept up ammo feed lines. This Atlas, reborn in vacuum and fire, now delivers a cargo of death from the hand of a pirate warlord. Both are good. Even the trash for Battle Mk2, it's fine in good hands. My hands are not good in this game, you know, I'm trash at this game when it comes to combat. If you want to hear like real combat, yeah, go to Big Brain Energy if you want to listen about the combat and what ships are the best and things like that. Not to me, I'm trash at combat, absolutely trash. Invictus class Dreadnought, a design dating to the first explosive expansion of the domain. This gargantuan mass of armor and all big guns was the gauntlet fist that smashed all opposition. spreading hegemony by fear and force over all spacefaring humanity that was worth conquering. The steady march of military technology left the hull outdated, however, its armor design was incompatible with early shield generators, its minimum crew complement staggering, and targeting systems unsophisticated. Modernized replacements were soon developed, and the Onslaught class, among others, was churned out by the Grain Domain Forges. An age passed, and as if by providence, an expedition sent by the Knights of Lud discovered an uncorrupted museum archive on a murdered world. A council of inquisitors waited whenever to destroy the domain-era knowledge, holding a fierce and secret debate over the line between sin and virtue, between righteous craft and corrupting technology. An unusually open-minded senior Knight Inquisitor examined the contents in detail and pursued the council to defer the destruction order indefinitely. This hull was christened Invictus, testament to the impossibly heavy armor and vast mass of this absurd cathedral of war. No proper navy would field this monstrosity, but the church and its knights can count on a bounty of faithful volunteer militants to crew the huge munition feeders and crude targeting stations. A ship older than the ancient threat and the onslaught made to defeat it, a brick in space. Retribution class battlecruiser, an ancient but unvenerated design. The Retribution is an extreme battlecruiser design which dates to the renaissance of military experimentation during the first consolidation period of the domain. It sacrifices armor for firepower and tremendous speed for its size class via a nearly unique implementation of Orion Drive technology, which was considered an archaic curiosity even then. The physical stress inflicted upon both human flesh and ship components by the propulsive jolt made the Retribution an unpopular ship in the Domain Armada, one of only a handful of options shared wholeheartedly by crew and officers alike. Only a handful of examples were ever deployed by the Armada proper, Retribution finding more use among frontier mercenaries and pirate hunters that relied upon unexpected bursts of speed and hyper-aggressive tactics. A ship old as Invictus, faster and less durable. Onslaught class battleship, a venerable design. The Onslaught class battleships were first created to serve the Domain Armada long ago, before development of advanced strike weapons, modern energy weapons and shield systems. When first launched from orbital dock, their firepower and burst speed surely intimidated entire systems. Some even say that they were built to combat non-humans in a long-forgotten war. Much later, Orion Shipyard engineers made modifications to the blueprints to include a shield system, upgraded the hyperdrive and reduced the required crew complement through automation and iterative engineering. Even though more advanced blueprints are available, the Onslaught remains the easiest to manufacture due to the brutal simplicity of its systems. A ship designed without shields in mind, built to be able to withstand a heavy barrage of enemy fire and strike back while protecting its crew, is much loved by its officers and crew, and strike back it can. The Onslaught's unmatched ballistic potential can devastate entire fleets in minutes. Its only drawback, a logistical dependency on ammunition. Onslaught crews are proud to serve in the class which forms the backbone of the hegemony navy. Made to save humanity from threat, it unleashed upon itself a combination of Invictus and Retribution which came before it. Made by Orion Shipyards, the creator of drones which later became threat. This ship is what saved Orion Shipyards and humanity as a whole, mainstaying in the Domain Armadas for all time. Legion class battle carrier. After the legendary success of the Onslaught design, it became clear that rebellious systems without ultra-heavy industrial capacity were able to develop carrier-based strike craft capable of countering the old men of the Domain Armada. Alongside new weapons, nimble anti-fighter missiles and rapid tracking point defense cannon, the Strategic Council decided that Armada needed a carrier of its own, worthy to serve alongside the Onslaught. Thus, the Legion was designed to provide a mobile platform for basic interceptors and strike craft, while able to stand on the line of battle. Classified as battle carrier, the Legion mounts an impressive array of heavy weapons as well as hangar space and command control capacity sufficient to field 4 fighter wings. Later models were upgraded with specialized nanoforges to replacement and repair of fighter craft, significantly increasing tooth-to-tail ratio on distant deployments. Proponents of the Cruiser School criticized the Legion for being insufficiently specialized in its role, maintaining that similar fighter volume can be fielded at a far less cost and with greater flexibility if combat roles were separated into distinct ship hulls. The economic arguments do pale in the face of an incoming Legion engaging its burn drive to deliver crushing firepower at the key point of battle. My first capital ship, I'm biased if it comes to it, I simply love it, although I don't use it that much now. Younger brother of the Onslaught, probably created at the same time as Mora class. One more thing I can say.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Prometheus class tanker. A tanker of vast capacity used to shift strategic amounts of fuel between worlds. Unlike its smaller cousins, the Prometheus features a reasonable defense arsenal to protect its valuable and volatile cargo. Prometheus also has MK2 version, a Brother Cotton certified classic. The fanatical pathers have discovered an ironic sense of justice in converting the tanker, which carries what they call Inferium AM fuel, into a hooking implement of holy war. Holding tanks and loading ports have been chopped apart and converted into hangars or gun mounts, while sections of pumping rig have been torn off to be replaced with huge armor plates. Curved bow of the primary fuel tank has been cored and refit to spew barrages of missiles at those who serve Moloch, that they may perhaps find absolution in blessed oblivion. Now, that's all for the low-tech ships. I didn't speak about the fighters and orbital stations, I will speak about them separately. Now, you don't have to read the description in the game anymore, you can just listen to this video. However, I think listening to me is way worse than simply reading. I've been struggling a lot with this. It was way harder actually for me than making my own script, because in my own script I can just write the easy way for me, and even that I fumble with. Here, however, I just had to read the description as it is, and it went terribly. I misread some things, I'm sure of it, and yeah, that's it. I put this video in 2 parts, later I'm gonna put it into one longer video, but for now, goodbye, and remember, do not insult the low tech, because surprisingly to you, low tech may be the best tech.